It is amazing to me that most of us would rather be ruined by praise. Ruined by praise than to be saved by criticism. Norman Vincent Peale said, "The trouble with most of us is that we would rather be ruined by praise or instead of being saved by criticism." That's what we're going to talk about today on this edition of the Coach's Corner. My name is Marcus Salette. I got issues, but as I embrace them, I want you to hear about the lessons I've learned. Welcome aboard. Welcome to another edition of the Coach's Corner. My name is Marcus Salette, and as I said, I have issues, but I trust that you can travel along with me on the Coach's Corner show that airs every day right here on Spreaker as well as on SIBN FM radio, as I share with you the lessons that I have learned gleaning from my own life. Today we want to talk about, are we ruined by praise instead of being saved by criticism? First up, let me say that you are the most awesome person in the whole world. In the whole world. You are the apple of God's eye. There is no one like you. There'll never be another one after you. You are unique. You are splendid. The potential that you have is peaking. Your growth is second to none. Your maturity is rising. Your resources are increasing. But, analytically speaking, we must pick apart this statement. Ruined by praise. First, the equalizer here is that everyone needs praise. One of the most antagonizing statements I ever hear in a church environment is when someone is given a criticism, when they're given a compliment, they say, well, to God be the glory. And while that is admirable, and it should be, perhaps one of the statements we should consider saying, we also have a problem receiving compliments. We have a problem receiving praise. And so that's a topic for another day. And I could tell you 5 flags that will rise up when you give somebody a compliment. First thing they look down. What you looking down for? Giving you a compliment. Second thing is they brush it off. They start talking about, no, this is a compliment. But we're often ruined by praise. Now, that statement I take to mean this. We would rather have flowery words than constructive criticism. And there's several reasons for that. Ruined by praise means you don't listen to anything else unless it's something you want to hear. Ruined by praise means I don't hear you unless you're talking my language. Ruined by praise means I only listen to what I want, what I deem as good for me. But all of us know, including you, that to grow, we have had to take in a lot of things that we didn't like. from food to water that wasn't ice cold to being outside and all of a sudden it's real hot, or being in the pool and all of a sudden a baby boo-boo's in it. I went to a big community pool when I was a kid, and football size, pool. And we would have such a blast until you would hear a whistle blow. And everybody had to get out of the pool because somebody had crapped in the pool or peed or whatever you want to say. But ruined by praise. Some of you are running in groups only because of the praise. Most people don't even have a set of conflict resolution skills. They either avoid problems, deny problems, or project the problems on other people. That's another topic for another day. Most people do not have conflict resolution skills. They either avoid problems, deny problems, or project the problem on someone else. You're the cause why I have this problem. You're the reason why I feel this way. Most people are not objective enough to look at a problem and find out, first of all, since you bring you to every situation, you are the common denominator, you got to start with yourself. And if there is a problem that is, I had a hand in it somewhere, because if not I caused it, I allowed it. I need some help right there. But ruined by praise. Part of the reason why I think that we are ruined by praise and not saved by criticism, and you can have the opposite extreme as well. Ruined by criticism and saved by praise, by the way. But part of the reason why we can't take criticism is we have a inferiority complex. We have been surviving so many traumatic experiences that we don't really talk about anything. We don't really process pain. We code it, we cover it, we lick it like a lollipop, like a dog does his or her wounds. We don't really deal with pain. We don't have a lot of safe places to deal with pain. You hear what I said? We don't have a lot of safe. The church was supposed to be a safe place to deal with your pain, and it's not always the safest place. The club was supposed to be a safe place to dance away your pain. And you only take your pain and smother it with a bunch of sexual moves and wake up in the morning and say, what the hell did I get myself into? Ruined by praise, saved by. We have a mentality in our lives, in our culture rather, where we're always thinking, I think it's almost involuntary, like a victim. What they did to me, what he did to me, what she said to me, how close they got to my car. I mean, if you think about the statements that we all say, I'm big, bad, and I'm ugly, is the sum of it. You can't tell me anything. And if somebody tells you something, and then what happens is we go and we share that with someone else. You know what they had the nerve to tell me? Who did he think he is? And we're real good with words. We're quick on our feet with words because we don't practice silence. We don't practice silence. We don't practice silent devotional time, meditative time. So we real quick. If you find somebody that's real quick on their feet, I'm talking about even in the positive, they just got every answer. They real quick. They always there, always giddy, always quick on their feet. You got to be careful because that person right there don't have a lot of depth to them. Because one of the key principles of life is you got to study to shut up. You got to study to be quiet. You got to study to quiet yourself. And we real quick on our feet. And so when it comes to criticism, we're so quick on our feet so often that we snap, snap, snap like a turtle. Snap, snap, snap. Who you talking to? And could be somebody that loves you, somebody that knows you, somebody that mirrors your values and your ethics. You know, you're dating somebody and they can't dare criticize. They got to walk on eggshells around you. We can go beyond that. You in a covenant relationship, and because you bring the biggest visible piece to the table, nobody else can say anything to challenge you because it looks like you carrying the whole load. I need some help right there. It looked like you carrying the whole load. So now because it looks like you carrying the whole load, nobody really can say anything to you because it looks like you're carrying the whole load and you already frustrated and agitated and a whole lot of other things. And so soon as that criticism comes, boom, boom, you snap. Who you talking to? And you know what? Most people have flatlined. Think about what I just said. Most people have flatline. They can't go no further than the next criticism. If you can't take criticism, you're not going no further. Now, praise has its place. And the things that God does for us to woo us into his presence is really praise us. He praises us. He tells us about ourselves in the good way. He tells us about our future and the plans that he has for us, and on and on and on to woo us. And then when we get to the situation like Isaiah where he says, I saw the Lord high and lifted up in the year that King Uzziah died, in the year that my homies died who praised me, in the year that my sister girls who praised me died, in the year that everybody that was around me said what I wanted, when I wanted, because I wanted it, died. I saw the Lord high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. And then all of a sudden I said, woe is me, because why? Because I'm a man of unclean lips. He realized the vulnerability of his own dignity and his own individuality in the presence of a divine God. And he also realized that in the presence of a divine God, that alone was the critic of his makeup. Because if you remember, David said, in sin did my mother conceive me. I've already conceived where I need criticism to get me on the right track in the first place. I'm sorry. I done went in. Ruined by praise. Can't say nothing to you unless it's got sugar on it. Most people are good at projection. You can turn that thing around so fast and so good. You are expert at phoniness. You are expert at pretension. You are expert at credit. Your rating is fair. Fair to excellent, because you know how to use what you don't have to get what you don't deserve. Let me say that again. A lot of people know how to use what they don't have. You borrow from your strengths to cover your weaknesses, and you're going bankrupt because you can't afford the penalties that are incurred when you turn around and can't strengthen your weak areas. And if you think about it in a Christian way, you have more glory, more admiration, more celebration from God at your weakest point. Something to think about. Saved by criticism means you are only as good as your ability to take the next instruction. You are only as good. I am only as good as my ability to be objective and see both sides of the coin. I am only as good when I stop tooting my horn, what I do, what I'm tired of, what I say, what I brought to the table, how much I've done, and you embrace the village mentality. That nothing in me and around me goes down unless the team takes it, unless the team brings it. And we have a lot of people who are sitting in the portals of praise, where if you don't say something good to them, they can't function. Or you got a lot of people, they're always criticizing someone else because internally they themselves need to be criticized and need to receive that pruning, if you will. I got to get out of here. My time is gone, man. My time is gone. They can't take no pruning. Every tree has to be pruned. Every season brings comforts and discomforts. Winter brings cold and harshness of the ground. I got to get out of here. And summer brings heat. And And rain, spring brings rain. I can go on and on and on. Every season has both pros and cons, comfort and discomfort. And we are ruined by the comfort of